Thank you very much for watching coronavirus live streaming Japan versus Philippines today. So this is Tomomi from Carrier Fly, and then I will connect to Joseph-san in Philippines. Okay. Joseph-san, hi.
Hello,
Hello, how are
how are
you?
you? I'm good, I'm good.
Okay,
Thank you
great.
very much for having me here in your streaming.
Thank you very much for your cooperation. So today's speaker is Joseph-san. So could you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Okay, so but first of all, to all the people who are watching right now, I hope you take this opportunity to learn about things around the world. So, yeah, my name is Albert Joseph. You can call me Joseph. I live in the Philippines. I was born and raised in the Philippines. I live in a province called Laguna. So yeah, today let me share to you what it's like here in the Philippines in my country.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so I think the COVID-19 is spreading all around in the world, but actually in Philippines, is it
Mhm.
is it there? Is it like problem there too?
Yes, it's actually a big problem right now
Okay.
here in our country because based from the data that I've seen in the news, there are a lot of positive cases already here in the Philippines, and um, there are every day we record new cases, so it's really a serious thing. It's really a serious thing. It affected every Filipinos here in my country.
Okay, okay. So in Philippines, there are a lot it's made by a lot of islands, right?
Yes, that's right.
So how is it like? It's all over the country, or like happens by the islands?
Yeah. Um, well, the in because we have three major islands here in the Philippines:
Mm-hmm.
Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. And the most cases are recorded in the island of Luzon, where the capital is.
Okay.
So most of the cases are recorded in Luzon. There are also some cases recorded in Visayas and Mindanao, but it's less than the number of cases in the main island of Luzon.
Mm. Okay, so the more the people there, the
Yes,
more
that's right.
serious about the
Yes,
situation.
that's.
Got
Mhm.
it. It's the same about Japan too.
Oh, yeah, yeah, really.
Yeah, actually, like Tokyo and Osaka, Nagoya, those like place where people get together and work.
Oh,
It's
yeah, really.
the place where most the victims
Hmm.
affected.
And
Yeah.
because early, I've read in the news before that Japan only implemented state of emergency in Tokyo and the other six prefectures, and I think it's a national. Right now, it's in a national state of emergency. Am I right?
Yeah, it's you got the very hot news. It was like the last night thing. Yes.
Oh,
And
I see.
so the government told that the declare the emergency to the whole nation nationwide.
Mhm.
So they decided to give some support, like money support, economical support, for
I
each
see.
single person who live in Japan.
Okay. So how's the daily life of the Japanese
Yeah, actually, I want
right
to
now?
ask you about that. So, how's daily life in Philippines?
Well, well, the daily life of Filipinos was really affected by this pandemic.
Okay.
It was really affected by the pandemic. We are on a
How?
total lockdown, meaning no one is really allowed to go outside
Oh my
aside from
god.
the frontliners, the health
Okay.
workers, the people who work in the supermarket, and the bank employees. So aside from these people, no one is really allowed to go outside their homes. It's really strictly implemented by the government.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, how it like how they
And
control it
Yeah.
actually?
Um, there are like what do you call this stations in every town, like in every because we the smallest community here in the Philippines is called the barangay.
Uh-huh.
So in every barangay, in every local community, there are stations or outposts there where the officials, monitor about, the people going in and out of their houses. And um, if you would ask me, Tomomi-san, how about your food? How do you get your food if no one is allowed to go outside their homes?
Food, okay.
About
No one's, right?
Yeah, no one.
And actually, no food
About that,
delivery.
I'm sorry.
No food delivery.
There is food. Actually, if about that, in that case, um, there's a guideline by the government, like a provision of a quarantine pass. So this quarantine pass, this is given to all the household in the community. Every family was given this quarantine pass so that they can use it if they want to go outside their house to buy food, only to buy food and to buy the necessary things that they
Wow.
need during this lockdown. So you need to show this quarantine pass to the police officers and the officials so that they can allow you to go outside and buy things in the market. So that's how
Okay.
they monitor it here right now.
Okay, got it. So the police actually are all around, like, around your home and watching you?
Yeah, yeah. There are specific outposts, like
Got it.
the entrance in every community and outside of the
Eh,
community.
so
That's
they
how they
work very
monitor it.
hard.
Yeah.
Got it.
it really
Okay.
affected it really affected the daily life of the
So
Filipinos.
you cannot go
This lockdown.
so you cannot go out for work neither?
No, no one is allowed to go outside for work aside from the health workers, aside from the people who work in the supermarket because they need to sell things like food, right?
Right.
And also the employees in the bank. So aside from those people, no one is allowed to go outside to work.
Wow, that's strong.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. And how is the school? It's locked down too?
Yeah, the schools were also affected by this lockdown. All the schools in the island of Luzon stopped its operation. And I think, in my opinion, the most affected by this lockdown are the college students.
College students.
The graduating students. Because when this pandemic started and when the lockdown was put in place in our country, they all of the universities or some of the universities here in the Philippines were still in the middle of the semester. So imagine the sudden stop
Right.
and the abrupt of in the education because of this situation. So yeah, at first online classes were implemented, were conducted, but I think it didn't last long because, well, some of the students don't have access to the internet, and um, the number of participants in an online setting, like the number of students in a class, won't fit in an online setting. So that's the situation of the schools and the educational system here in the
Okay.
Philippines. And just to share with you, one of the universities here in the Philippines, it's the number one university here in the Philippines, just decided to end the semester by April 30.
Okay.
So it's early. It's really early compared to the normal end of the semester, which happens usually in May.
May, okay.
So there's coming from that decision, there has been a lot of debates and concerns and issues about that situation. Like, how are we gonna go on with this? Like, what should we do? Should the university do mass promotion, meaning let's just pass all the students, they get a passing grade, or should the university just wait for the pandemic to settle and to be okay, and then just continue the classes so as not to compromise the quality of education and the quality of students? So it's really, it's really difficult, and it really affected the educational system in the Philippines.
Right. Right.
How about
So,
in Japan?
yeah, actually, in Japan, like from the end of the March to the
Mm-hmm.
April, the first of the April, it's kind of like spring break. So
Ah,
it was
yeah, yeah.
spring
Mm-hmm.
break, but they supposed to open the university or like schools,
Mm-hmm.
like the first or second week of April. But it
Mm-hmm.
depends on the school they open it.
Ah,
But most of the schools are closed, and
okay. So,
yeah,
mm-hmm.
and also for the universities, some universities which could adapt it to this like online, like business, they decided
Mm-hmm.
to do their like courses online.
Mm-hmm.
So the students
I
will
see.
be staying home, and then the teachers will stream their class, or like they
Mm-hmm.
use Zoom or like Skype or something like that, and then they will connect to
Mm-hmm.
the students.
I see. Good. So there
Yeah,
are still schools there who are operate who schools there who that's operating.
yeah,
So it
but
depends on the school whether they open the school or not.
yeah, it depends. But since last night the declaration of emergency got affected to every nation, so I mean like nationwide, so I think it's gonna
Mm-hmm.
change a lot.
Mm-hmm. I see.
Okay,
Oh, it's
so how is it like support
good
from
to
the
know.
government?
Support of when it comes to the support of the government, well, there are a lot of things that the government has implemented in
Mm.
response to this crisis. Like there's budget that has been given to other agencies to help the people. Like around the budget was around I think 200 billion pesos, and it's allocated for families most affected by this crisis. So the government instructed the local government units to provide food packs to
Okay,
all the families in
well
the
that's
community.
useful. Food packs, yes.
Yes, food packs. So, so if ever they can go outside, the government will just send the food to their houses so that, they have food on their table for a week, let's
Mm.
say. And there are also other initiatives that was done here in the Philippines. Like the Office of the Vice President of the Philippines initiated a fundraising activity. So
Mm.
this fundraising activity is to help provide our health workers, the doctors and the nurses, to
Okay.
and the hospitals to have like protective suits that they
Okay.
can use when they are responding to the positive cases of COVID.
Mm.
So those financial aid, cash aid to the families
Mm.
most
Mm.
affected by this pandemic, and also some of our politicians, some of our senators and mayors donated their
Oh, okay.
a month's salary, and some donated their 6 months salary,
Wow, that's
so that,
huge.
to yes to help fight COVID-19. So it's a beautiful thing that we Filipinos are doing these things to help each other out.
Mm.
And also, I would like to add also some of the initiatives being done, like the support. Aside from the government, the universities here in the Philippines also do their job. So, my university, where I graduated from, we created locally made testing kits,
Hey,
which are cheaper and
sugod.
which are cheaper than the testing kits abroad. So this could really help in the detection of the virus among asymptomatic people. So
Okay.
we also established testing sites and laboratories
Mm.
to ease the burden of the hospitals in conducting tests to the people.
Okay.
So those are the initiatives and the support being done by the government and some institutions here in the Philippines.
Wow, so you got together and cooperating together.
Yeah, actually, I just want to share to everyone who's watching right now. We have this like culture here in the Philippines. In my local language, we call it bayanihan.
Bayanihan.
So, yes, bayanihan. It just means that helping each other out in this time of crisis.
Mm.
Whoever you are or wherever you came from, as long as you're Filipino, I mean, you're in the Philippines, we will do bayanihan. We will help each other out. So, and I think that's beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
Helping each other out. in this time of crisis. And I hope that everyone around the world will do the same. Like, if anyone who's watching this streaming, like from Australia or wherever country they came from, I hope they are doing the same, because it's really important that we help each other in this time of crisis.
It's true. It's really true. And it's very beautiful
Yeah.
that you have that kind of like specific word in Filipino.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really it's really nice.
I'm glad to share with you all of that.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. Okay.
Mm.
Got it, got it. So what is the like the future, the what the government tells about the future? Well, when will the lockdown end, or how it gonna be end?
Mhm. Well, supposedly, we should have ended the lockdown last April 15.
Ah, okay.
It's actually, we should have ended that our lockdown last April 15, but it was extended until the end of April, April 30, because we see significant change and positive result during this lockdown. No?
Okay.
We want to maximize that. So far, the statistics show good data. The number of recoveries right now, as of today, the number of recoveries is much more than the number of death, and I think that's a good sign.
Yes, I think
And
so.
we also see a stable number of newly infected cases, meaning it's not increasing. Every day, it's the same number. So it's not increasing anymore. And I think if this continues to happen over the next few weeks, I think that the lockdown and quarantine will really end at the end of April or early May.
Wow, that's really early, I think,
Yeah,
comparing to
I think
other
that's really early.
countries.
We'll see. We'll see about what's gonna happen about the data. But I think it will extend more. But I hope not.
Yeah, we all hope that.
Yeah.
Yeah, our like declaration of emergency will be by May 6th for now.
Hmm.
I hope it's not gonna be extended.
Yeah, and I think there's a like an important event coming in Japan, like the Golden Week.
Yes, Golden Week. Yeah, Golden Week is a very long holiday in Japan. It's not very long for maybe comparing to other countries, but it's gonna be like about like
Mhm.
a week or a little bit more.
Mm,
So usually people go out to have fun or go traveling. And so in that case, we cannot, do this kind of like fun stuff during this Golden Week this year. So it will affect a lot of
it's different
economic.
right now,
Yes,
right?
it's gonna be different and difficult.
It's gonna be
Yes.
different. Hmm.
So I think it's really tough situation for you guys and for everyone. And since everyone is locked down, people need to think about how to have fun inside of home, right?
Yes,
So
yes, that's right.
in Philippines, what is the trend?
Well, the trend, like what we do, we what do you call this? What do we do during this time?
Yeah, so like
Well,
for
we have what like active fun activities during this lockdown, something like that.
yeah, if something's there, I want you to share.
Okay. So here in the Philippines, what we are doing is we conduct online concerts.
Online concerts,
We
okay.
con Yes, some of the artists in the Philippines do online concerts through Facebook Live
Okay.
and other platforms, and they do that. They do that to also raise funds. Like, it's also a fundraising activity. They conduct free concerts online, and then if anyone is watching, they can donate to help the
Okay.
people affected by the pandemic. And actually, I am a member of a choir.
Ah, choir.
Uh,
Nice.
I, I sing in a choir, and our group created a visual choir. So we recorded our voices singing together, and we collected it, and we made a virtual choir out of it, and we
Eh,
post it on our Facebook page, and we share it to our friends. It's also a fundraising activity, so it's really fun to do that. Actually, the song that we the song that we sang in that virtual choir is it's a Japanese song.
Which
It's
one?
called Mae
Mae.
by Sato Kentaro Sato.
Mm, it
So
means like go forward.
yes, go forward. So yeah, maybe I'll share that to you.
Yeah,
So
thank
that's what
you.
we do here. Well, that's what we do here in the Philippines.
Mm,
We do online concerts, and we, yeah, with some of the singers and the artists, we do online
eh,
concert to raise funds. It's fun. It's fun. Like you can see your favorite artist,
right.
singing online. It's really different, but it's fun.
Got it. Got it. That's very fun. Thank you very much for sharing.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, great. So how is actually like working situation? You told me that they cannot go work unless you dedicate to the helping supporting work or like
hmm
supermarkets or like something very like necessary. But for like other
hmm
people, what do they do?
Well, some people lost their job.
Mm.
Sadly, some people lost their job. It's really difficult, especially to those who work on a daily basis
Okay.
and those who are on no taxi drivers, bus drivers, who are only relying on their income in a day. And because of this lockdown and the public transportation being suspended,
Okay.
they don't have the source of income anymore, which made it difficult for them to acquire things that they need, like stock of food during the lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
And most so yeah, that's the situation of the workers right now. And I heard that most of the layoffs that happened are in the aviation sector.
Wow. Okay.
So the tourism and the aviation sectors were first to report layoffs. Yeah. So yeah, it's really difficult right now. And the coronavirus has already pushed like the airlines here in the Philippines
Mm.
to ask the government for an access to credit, so they can go on with business. So it's really difficult with the workers,
Mm.
especially those who are on a daily basis kind of employment. But the office workers, some of them are still working. We also employ working from home here in the
Mm. Mm.
Philippines.
Mm.
So some of the Philippines do that as well. Mostly those who are working in the business process outsourcing
Okay.
industry, the call center
Uh
agents.
huh.
So that industry is still ongoing and still operating as of the moment, because they can do work from home.
Ah.
But
Okay.
aside from that, other sectors, most of them are
Mm.
really stop their business
Mm.
operations.
Okay. Okay. Actually, like the most of the companies in Philippines which can do the remote work right now could do this remote work situation actually before the coronavirus situation.
Before, we don't
Ah.
do remote. Yes, we don't do that. It only
Okay.
happened during this time. Actually, here in the Philippines, employees or workers were pushing for a from home scheme,
Ah. So no. Okay.
but it's not. I think it was not implemented yet, or it's still in the process of like discussion in the government. So yeah, it only happened right now, like the
Okay.
work from home type of of you know
Eh.
of employment. It only happened now because of the
Oh.
pandemic, of the crisis.
Okay, but it's amazing that your country has that much like flexibility of working style.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, I've read in the news that the BPO sector, the call center agents or the call center companies, they only have like 2 days of preparation to shift from like office setting to work from home.
Wow.
And it's really good. It's really good. I mean, it's they can still work from
Uh
home,
huh.
even with that kind little preparation only. They were
Yes.
able to start operation already. But according to the news, it would like result to like it would really also affect their business
Right.
even though they are working from
Eh,
home. So
but still they can keep working, and it's
yes.
amazing that actually BPO industry could do that shift very like uh fast, because in Japan the industry which is having trouble to shift it to
Mhm.
working from home is actually BPO,
Oh.
because the call centers have like the settled like the funds there, and also they
Mhm.
have like a lot of informations which is like personal informations, or they cannot bring it out of the office. So still the people have to go to the office, like, but still like they reduce the employees who go to the office once, but still they are
Mhm.
going on the office, in the office.
So it's different. Like BPO in Japan is having difficulty in doing work from home.
Yeah, so I was just surprised about
Mm,
yeah, hearing about that.
really?
mm, Okay, okay. Thank you very much for sharing that. And how is the like working opportunity? Like, I think it's true that many people for many people it's a really tough situation to get a job, but
Mhm.
I'm sure that some like like certain industry have it get some like benefits out of this. So,
Mhm.
how is the opening positions number? Are they reduced, or how is it?
Well, the job openings definitely became less than before.
Okay.
With with most of the sectors, excuse me, with most of the sectors not operating as of the moment, there have been less job openings. But there are still companies that are hiring, but mostly are from the BPO industry.
Mm,
Well, there are some industries that are still hiring. Like for example, like there is a company that's doing online recruitment. In
mm.
the like the sector is the industry is real estate. So they still do they still do online recruitment even as of today. And also there are other IT companies who are still hiring here in the Philippines. Yeah, and I also have experience from that because actually just recently I just had my interview, my online interview and online process of online recruitment.
Mm.
So yeah, there are still some companies who are hiring as of the moment, but as of the number of job openings, definitely it became less compared before.
Ah, okay. Okay. So I'm just wondering, by the from the point of the culture,
Mhm.
like working culture, I think like in Japan, many companies can says like we cannot decide even without like seeing each other face to face. So they postpone
Mm.
the final interview, or they postpone the offer, I think. But in many cases right now. But how is it in Philippines?
um well, in my experience, they still do it even though it's not face to face, like the job offer.
Okay, that's very nice.
Or maybe it's just an interview. Well, I'm not really sure as of the moment because I don't have experience like giving like
Mm-mm.
being offered like giving being offered a job.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have experience as of that. But I guess with this current situation, I think in my opinion, they will still go on with giving the people the job offer even though they don't see each other face to face. And as for the like the deployment, when are they gonna start working, I think some of the companies decided to some companies employ or deploy their new hires immediately, like in an
Mm-mm-mm.
online setting as well. But some companies decide to um, let the new hires start after the pandemic.
Ah, okay. Got it. So there's some like differences between like the joining date or how they join, but
Mhm.
still they can keep recruiting.
Yes, they can keep recruiting.
Okay,
It's
okay.
just like the start date will be delayed.
Mm-mm-mm.
Like they can start
But that's understandable.
they won't be able to start anytime because
Yeah.
of the situation. But
Got it.
they are still hiring.
Yeah, got it. Thank you very much. I think it's a very mm, the companies which can hire under even this under the pandemic, it's
Mhm.
the company is very strong in like recruitment and in human resource.
Mhm.
Mm,
So yeah, to all people who are watching right now, if you are currently looking for a job, don't lose hope, don't give up. There are still companies out there who are hiring
right.
even during this time of pandemic. So just try. There are still companies out there who are hiring. Just
Right.
go on and try.
Got it. Thank you very much. It's kind of like the message of Mae, right?
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for your strong message. So, to closing, I think I thank you very much for sharing everything, Joseph-san, and please
My pleasure.
stay safe, stay home,
I will.
and I really enjoy talking to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Tomami san. It was really nice talking to you too.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. So today we had the streaming from Philippines. I hope you guys enjoyed and got the fresh information about Philippines. Please stay safe and think about your career. Keep thinking and keep moving forward. Thank you very much. Bye.